Good morning, America. How are ya? Monday morning rail. We'll be 500 miles before the day is done. I'm Denny Jelsma, and I'm at the world famous Jacksonville Terminal Railroad Museum. And today is Monday, and you all know what we do on Monday. It's show and tell, and show and tell starts right now. Show and tell starts right now, and today we got a very exciting train to talk about, and I really like it. It's one of my favorite trains in the South, and it's called the South or the Gulf Wind. And it ran from Jacksonville to New Orleans, and it was kind of a secondary train for Seaboard. For the people that like the Gulf Wind, you say that they don't like that, but it was a secondary train, and it really started in 1949. Seaboard ran two trains a day to New Orleans before that, with steam and all heavyweight cars, and it took about 18, 19 hours. It stopped everywhere. One train was a mail train, and another one had a lot of Pullmans, and it left at night out of Jacksonville. And then in 1949, they dieselized it, and they ran, their trading partner was the L&N. And they picked up the L&N at Chattahoochee, and that L&N took it from Chattahoochee to New Orleans. At Fremont, Alabama, the train was combined with the various trains, but the train I want to talk about is, let's say, in the late 50s and 60s with the Piedmont. And so they, 1949 is when they actually started the Gulf Wind. Now, about 2 years later, they added the observation car that everybody knows, and there's the Royal Street and the Royal Canal. And these came off of the Crescent when L&N was a partner with them, and when they stopped being a partner with the L&N and the Southern, these cars became available, and the L&N assigned them to the Gulf Wind. And what we have here is a model of the Gulf Wind, and I'm very lucky to have this car because this car is not available anywhere except if you have it scratch built. This car was made by Mike Stamey of Southeast Models. Mike is a professional model builder, and he happens to be a member of the world famous Jacksonville Terminal Railroad Museum. And so that's how this car got to be at the Jacksonville Terminal. And so what I have here showing you is the Gulf Wind's Royal Canal. It was a lounge and on 5 sleeping accommodations. And then we have a heavyweight diner. This train had a combination of stainless steel ob car, a Pine Series L&N, lightweight sleeper. It had a heavyweight sleeper. It had American Flyer coaches from the Seaboard, and then the train had a Seaboard diner. The diner ran from Jacksonville to Tallahassee. The train left at 5 o'clock. They served a nice meal, got into Tallahassee, they took it off, and then the train went on to Fremont, Alabama, where it made a connection on the L&N, which they were already on the L&N from Chattahoochee, but they combined the train with the Piedmont. Piedmont then went to Mobile. They had a diner that was added in Mobile. They went from Mobile to New Orleans, and it got in around 9 o'clock in the morning. Coming back, it left about 5:30, and it got into Jacksonville the next morning around 9 o'clock in the morning. This was a very neat train. It took about 15 hours. Now, today the Interstate 10 basically eliminated that service, and you could drive from Jacksonville to New Orleans in about 10 hours. And so the train in its best was doing right at 15. But it was really a nice ride. It was a nice train. Future episodes, I'm going to have one of our members rode that as a kid, and he's going to tell you a little bit about his experience of riding the Gulf Wind, and it's really neat. But this is what we have for the Gulf Wind. We run this train on a regular schedule here at the world famous Jacksonville Terminal Railroad Museum. So very nice train. I personally like it. It's just kind of a very unique train. So that's what we have for show and tell at the Jacksonville Terminal Railroad Museum in beautiful Jacksonville, Florida.